Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, and in today's video, man, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys signing former defensive end of the Dallas Cowboys, Dantae Fowler. He just last season spent a little brief time in Washington, did a lot of great things, went to the NFC Championship game. They fell flat on their face, but the ride to getting there was really fun for them, and I know Dantae Fowler had a fun time getting there. But, I'm going to talk about why I like the move, but why I felt like the move was unnecessary because I felt like he never should have left the building. But I will talk about and expand on that more. And then also, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys should make at least two more moves in free agency for them to shore up. So that's why we can go into the draft and draft BPA at every single round. And I feel like we'll be just fine coming into the regular season. So before we hop into the video, I'd appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. I don't understand why you blame me. Tell me as I am. I don't understand why you blame me. Tell me as I am. Tell me as I am. Hopping straight into talking about with Dantae Fowler, he had 10 and a half sacks last year playing for the Washington Commanders. He was a damn good defensive end. He was their best pass rusher last year. And again, they're probably going to go out in the draft, probably sign somebody, probably draft somebody, so they're probably going to make some moves still. Washington is to shore that up and get them a bona fide pass rusher that they can have on their team that they possibly draft or make a move for. But I really liked Dantae Fowler as a player. I really liked when he was here. The only part that I did not nag on him when he was here was the run defense department, right? But he was a better run defender when he went over to Washington, and he's just a damn good player in my opinion. Now, for sure, he's your second best pass rusher coming around this time for the Dallas Cowboys. As when he was the last time on the roster, he was your bet. He was probably like your third or fourth best pass rusher because you had Dorrance Armstrong, D Law, you had Michael Parsons, and you had these guys. So I feel like Dantae Fowler, for sure, when he steps in, he's going to be your second best pass rusher and possibly your second best defensive end. We're going to see what Marshawn Nealon is going to be in year two. We're going to see what Sam Williams is going to be in his contract year four. Um, you know, Prayerfully he comes back better on his injury. He becomes a solidified player that we always wanted him to be. But we're going to find out, and I'm really excited to see what that happens. I know we made other moves with former first round pick and Peyton Turner, former first round pick and Solomon Thomas. Dallas Cowboys got a former first round pick in Kenneth Murray, which I really like. They got Sam Bourne, the linebacker from Chicago. I really like that pick as well. So far with the Dallas Cowboys free agency moves, I am making this video of late Friday night, right before midnight, about 30 minutes until midnight. And, the Dallas Cowboys so far, their free agency moves hasn't really moved me in any way. So that's something I wanted to talk about right now. Javonte Williams, former top 100 pick, former top 50 pick of the 2021 draft class coming out of North Carolina. Hopefully that's a sign that we possibly might have a chance to draft another UNC running back in Omarion Hampton if the Dallas Cowboys really like him and they feel they want to draft him either at 12 or in a trade back spot if they get lucky to get him at around, right before the 20s or anything like that. But Javonte Williams is a damn good back. He does everything well except run the ball. He's a really good pass blocker. He's a really good pass catcher out of the backfield. He has a little bit of vision problems, but I felt like for me, he's a downhill running back. Downhill running back. He's a loves contact balance. My bad. Great contact balance. Can run in between the tackles. Really damn good running back. I just think he fell out of favor over in Denver with Sean Payton. I just don't think that scheme was fit for him. But I think with Clayton Adams and what we have right now on the offense side of the football with Brian Schottenheimer and the way we're going to run block and pass block as a team, I really like the way that we signed Javonte Williams. Miles Sanders, since we're talking about the running back position, I just feel like he's a depth veteran piece. I think he is your Ezekiel Elliott last year, right? I felt like, the Dallas Cowboys, they skipped out on drafting a running back. So since they know they missed out on it, they wanted to sign Zeke. So that's what they felt fine at the position. I think signing a guy like Miles Sanders would be your Ezekiel Elliott. He would be your Royce Freeman. I think just your veteran type of guy that would be in the building. That if you do draft a running back in the first two rounds, whether at pick 12 or pick 44, you feel fine cutting him if you feel like if he can't stay on the roster, right? But Miles Sanders for me might be a camp body, but who knows? He might go out in training camp and might do something. I'm not really sure, right? Um, Peyton Turner, I just think that he's been hurt a lot, hasn't been able to provide anything for the Saints. That's why they didn't retain him, and has a lot of upside coming out. I remember he was a first round pick in 2021, and he just didn't pan out. So hopefully he comes over to Dallas and he pans out. Again, I'm not bagging or you know telling you these guys are not going to be good. It's just what they shown to me prior is just we don't know what they're going to be once they get here. Again, those guys can be completely different. Payne Turner can probably be our second best defensive end next to Micah. We don't know, but we're going to find out. Kenneth Murray, I really, really, really like Kenneth Murray coming out of Oklahoma. Remember, and before we even drafted CeeDee Lamb, I remember there was a report. I forgot who it was because it was during 2019, early 2020, during COVID, and somebody was reporting about how Leighton Vander Esch's neck was going to be a major issue. What 4 years later it became a major issue. He had to retire, and Kenneth Murray's name was brought up in the conversation about him possibly being drafted. So I really like that we went out and we got this move, him and Sanborn both. I really like the additions of the linebackers basically that we signed. I like Kenneth Murray coming downhill, blitzing linebacker, getting 3.5 sacks. Last year with the Tennessee Titans, I wanted the Dallas Cowboys to trade for him. I even had a YouTube video right here where I said that I wanted the Dallas Cowboys to trade like a fourth round pick or a fifth round pick, whatever, a late day 3 pick to try and get Kenneth Murray in the building while he's still in a rookie free agent deal. And that was the week after we just had beaten the Chargers. We had lost to the 49ers a week prior, and that's where Trent Williams did that move on Leighton Vander Esch and messed up his neck. So, Kenneth Murray, I like that he's in the building. I like that we brought in Sanborn from Chicago. He was a person that a lot of Chicago Bears fans are really upset that they lost him, and then now they're very, very upset about that pick because they felt that he stepped up as a rookie really, really well. Because don't forget, when Sanborn, our linebacker, was coming into the league as an undrafted free agent, he was behind, a guy like Roquan Smith and the linebacking crew that they had over there. Then they traded Roquan to Baltimore. The rest is history, right? But they said Sanborn stepped in, was an automatic leader. He, played in the Big Ten out of Wisconsin. He's a damn good backer, and I think that he'll be a starter for you next to Maris Lufau in the linebacker game. And I feel like Kenneth Murray will be a nice rotational player with Maris Lufau. Um, Solomon Thomas, been around the league, whether that was with the Raiders, formerly known with the Niners, Jets. I think he's going to be your backup DN defensive tackle. I was wrong in thinking that they were viewing him as a Solomon Thomas replacement. They're viewing that as Peyton Turner to be that. But I remember, finally before the Dallas Cowboys finally were smart enough to put Chauncey Golston at the end. That's where we figured out, and that's why he was able to get his 3-year, $19.5 million because we set him at edge. He was automatically a really great edge coming out of Iowa, and once he came into his full man strength body last year, he was a damn good starting edge for us when all the injuries had happened with Micah and with D Law. We really liked what we had with Chauncey Golston. So that's why I thought we were going to get at Solomon Thomas. We're going to find out, but a lot of people are labeling him as a backup to Oso Digizua, which I'm not mad at that at all. Again, another former first round pick. Not mad at that at all. Again, and I talked about earlier in the video what I feel that the Dallas Cowboys, there's 2 more signings I felt the Dallas Cowboys should do. And again, another video that I talked about, and I talked about my free agency, sort of I would like if the Dallas Cowboys were to sign them. Some people would say that's a wish list. It wasn't much of a wish list because I knew and I know that we're not a big spending type of team. But I said, and I have notes right here where I wanted Keenan Allen on our football team because he's still a very good route runner. He's still really good. And I said, what happens if either LA teams, the Chargers and the Rams, don't want him and Chicago doesn't want him? I said that's a very clear possibility. He came out and made statements saying, "Hey, I would love to play for either LA team or Chicago." Basically, the places he's been in the league. Whether he played with the Chargers, played with the Bears. Those were his only 2 years, only 2 teams throughout his 10-year career in the league. But I said, what happens if none of those 3 teams want him and you're still a free agent? And look at it now. It's 10th, still Friday, and nobody has signed Keenan Allen. I would love Keenan Allen to be a Dallas Cowboy. He will be a Dak. He will be a weapon, an added weapon to this team. I'm tired of saying Dak friendly. It's just quarterback friendly. It's going to help your quarterback. He's a route runner. He can still run routes at a very high level. He can still separate, and that's what we need. Opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and again, Keenan Allen does not stop me from drafting a T Mac, a Tedero McMillan wide receiver out of Arizona. Does not stop me from drafting Luther Burden. If the third, if Dallas Cowboys love Luther Burden, he doesn't stop me from drafting Emeka Egbuka if I want to trade back and take Emeka. He does not stop me, but damn, I would love to have a guy like him in this team along with another rookie and with CeeDee Lamb. Now I feel, and with Jonathan Mingo as your fourth best wide receiver, you brought back Devontae Turpin on a 3-year deal. You got Jalen Tolbert as your fifth wide receiver. I love your wide receiver room. If you were to use pick 12 for wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Keenan Allen, Mingo, Turpin, Tolbert. I just love your wide receiver room at that point. I would not mind a Stephon Diggs if the Dallas Cowboys want to take him. That's again, some people might get upset at that. If the Dallas Cowboys want to sign a former Dallas Cowboy, go ahead and go sign Amari Cooper. I would love for him to be back in the building. If you're open to bringing back former Dallas Cowboys, why don't you just go in that vein and go get Amari Cooper? Probably can be a lot cheaper. And again, Amari Cooper is fine playing his role as long as it amounts to winning, and that's what he was doing in Buffalo. And I would love if we can bring him in. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, they love him. I don't believe he left football. He left for football reasons. We know why he left. It was because of political reasons, right? And then last but not least, I think one more position that the Dallas Cowboys should go ahead and address is corner in Asante Samuel Jr. That's a damn good cornerback, has great genes, and I always talk about that in my video, saying how I really believe in NFL genetics. If you had a brother, cousin, sister, auntie, uncle that was part of the game, played the game, I feel like you're going to be a damn good player, and I feel like Asante Samuel is. Now people say, well, if he has such great NFL genetics, why is he still a free agent? Because of his size, because of the injuries that he's been dealing with, which in fact he hasn't been dealing with much injuries, if any at all. He has been a damn good playoff performer. He picked off uh, what Trevor Lawrence like 4 times in the playoff game, which is a playoff game record, and he's a damn good player. He got his first career interception against Dak Prescott. He's a really good cornerback. I just don't see the problem. You plug him in at slot corner. You have Deron Bland on the other side. You have Kaiir Elam as your fourth wide receiver, maybe your starting boundary corner, if that's you so choose to do that. You have Kalen Carson as your fourth cornerback. You have Andrew Booth as your fifth cornerback. As long as we're not hurt and battered up and bruised, we'll never see Andrew Booth. It doesn't. We resigned Israel Mukuamu, so if Israel Mukuamu wants to play on the outside and they're able to have him play corner, I would love that as well. So cornerback, wide receiver are the two pieces I would love the Dallas Cowboys to go out and go sign. So that's why we can go out in April and draft. You already gave you guys my thoughts on the free agency signing so far. It is okay. The best free agency signing that we've made so far outside of our own would be Dantae Fowler. And again, I still feel like he's a Dallas Cowboy. He just took a year off somewhere else and he just came back. I feel like he never should have left. And I feel like that's better for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.